Welcome to Believe in People Unplugged, created in collaboration with and in support of the Matthew Perry House. Hosted by Amy Goldberg and Caitlin Morrison, this is a space for real conversations with musicians and artists, exploring who they are beyond the work, what fuels their creativity, and why music plays such an important role in their well-being.
Welcome to Believe in People Unplugged in collaboration with the Matthew Perry House, hosted by me, Amy Goldberg, and Caitlin Morrison. Today's guest is Hill Kourkoutis. She is a Juno Award-winning producer, engineer, and musician whose work is known for its emotional clarity, bold honesty, and fearless creativity. She's one of the most respected producers in the industry. Hill brings both technical mastery and deep emotional intuition to music making. Hill, welcome to Believe in People Unplugged.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so just for those listeners and viewers who've just joined us, we had a fascinating conversation around teeth and dental work.
Yes.
And so, anyone want to share any information? No? We're going to move on?
We'll move along.
Well, I just admitted that I had my baby teeth still, my first molars on the upper.
Yeah, and no teeth behind.
Yes.
Which is actually the benefit of that is that if you had any images taken as a baby of your skull, it wouldn't be as creepy. It's creepy when you see a baby skull.
Yeah, and the teeth behind.
X-ray and the teeth behind. It's like a monster. Babies are monsters.
It's pretty incredible. Yeah.
Yeah.
The MRIs of babies are very interesting too.
Very terrifying.
Yeah.
It's good to know. All right, I've never seen that, but
that's something
now I don't really want to.
After we have this conversation,
everybody look it up right now.
Yeah,
and have some nightmares
on the Google. Yeah,
everyone right now will be doing that right now.
Yeah, they will.
Yes. Oh my gosh, Hill, welcome. And I want to ask you a question because are you the first female engineer who won a Juno Award?
Yes.
And the only? Has there been anyone since?
No, unfortunately, but hopefully soon.
Why is that? First of all, that's incredible.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's just a matter of, I think it's one of those professions that have just been traditionally dominated by men. And there's definitely a lot more that have entered the profession in the last decade alone. So I think that it's just a numbers game at this point.
Well, I think too, it speaks well to you because you would certainly be that trailblazer to inspire other people. You know, I find that too. It's kind of like drums. Have you noticed that more women are taking up drums?
Yeah, which I love. I am a drummer myself, so I love it when I see women drumming. I follow this woman online. I can't remember her name because I have a terrible short-term memory, but yeah, it's like this grandma that plays the drums, and she's one of the most incredible drummers I've ever seen.
Wow,
Dorothea is her name. Yeah, she's incredible.
Wow, we'll look that up.
Yeah.
I want to
Let's tear apart the patriarchy. Let's just do that.
Yes, exactly.
You've heard of Mrs. Fields cookies. Why have you never heard of Mr. Fields cookies?
It's true.
because of the patriarchy.
There is Mr. Christie though, to play devil's advocate. Chips Ahoy is a Mr. Christie.
Yeah, that's a good
Christie.
point. That's a good point.
But I agree. There is also Miss Vicky's.
Oh yeah, Miss Vicky's.
What about Mr. Vicky's chips? Right?
What about it?
Yeah. What about it?
That's Hill, can I ask you, what came first for you? Engineer, how did this whole thing evolve? Because you are multi-talented. You play a number of different instruments. You record, you produce. What came first in your being?
I think like most musicians, I start off with the ambition to play stadiums as an artist. And I had that moment when I was 3 years old. I was at a Greek function, like a Greek community function, and there was a band playing on the stage. And while my dad was giving a speech, I went on the stage and grabbed a tambourine and just sat on the drum stand and was like, yes, this is what I'm going to do. Yeah, and then I just begged my parents to get me a guitar, and I started my first band when I was 12. And out of it, this kind of indie do-it-yourself spirit, I started to learn how to produce myself and write my own songs. And then soon my friends started asking me to produce songs for them and play for them. And that's kind of, it all kind of happened by accident. Like there was just a question like, hey, do you want to come do this? Do you want to come up tour with me? Do you want to produce my record? And yeah, I just have a hard time saying no. I get FOMO with experiences.
I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Hill is a genuine genius, by the way, for anyone listening who
I
cares
wouldn't
to know.
say that. Jack of all
I
trades,
would.
master of none. But yes,
Master of all trades, I say. But you know, that's just my opinion. I could be wrong.
But you know what? There is a presence, Caitlin. Didn't you notice? Like, okay, the first time I saw Hill was
yes,
Make Music Matter with the Matthew Perry House.
Matthew Perry House, yes.
Live, live, loud. Okay, but I felt, okay, so Hill walks in, there's an absolute presence. There's no question about it. There's an energy, there's a presence. But I think that, and Hill, share this with us, is there this, I don't know, I've kind of felt the love, but is there this energetic community feel, even if you didn't know all of the people? Because it was a compilation of all sorts of talented people. Like, what was that vibe for you?
It felt incredible. I think there's an inherent camaraderie that exists with musicians, and also the fact that we were all coming together for such a beautiful cause, and something that I think we all had, either some sort of an experience with, or knew people close to us that had these experiences. So I think that inherently created a sense of community and connection. Like there was a collective consciousness and this like unified goal in mind. But I mean, also I knew half of the artists there as well. Like I've had the pleasure of working with a lot of them over the years. So yeah, it was like a bunch of our friends coming together to support these amazing organizations. And I do feel that, but yeah, I think we're also in the practice as musicians of just having to be really vulnerable all the time, kind of on demand. Like that's been my experience in the studio, especially when I'm doing writing sessions. Like you're meeting some people for the first time, and then by the end of the day, you've spilt your guts to each other, and you kind of get into the nuances of the depth of your spirit, because I think that's the only way to honestly connect with each other and write honest music. So yeah, that's a thing for sure.
So there are a couple of things that I noticed in like both the lead up to that show, and then also like in the practice, in the rehearsals, and in the show itself, the related to you specifically, which is literally everybody who hears your name in the music world that I have ever met is like, oh my God, Hill Kourkoutis is the coolest. I'm the most amazing person. And I'm so excited. And I mean, that's the best news in the world that she's going to be a part of this. Because the thing that I noticed when I actually kind of saw you in action is like, yes, you're a producer of music and you're amazing at it and like bringing all the pieces together, but it also seems like I don't know if you do it on purpose, and that's going to be the question, is do you do it on purpose? But it also seems like you almost orchestrate the people, like you see what everybody's about really, really quickly, and you're able to like manage those personalities and get everybody really comfortable with each other and what they're doing. Is that a thing that you do on purpose?
I don't know if that's a conscious thing. I definitely think that's a part of, like, that's what a producer's supposed to do. So maybe that, and I'm also a director. Like I went to film school, and that's the other side of, I've had to put that kind of on a shelf for a bit because you just can only do so much in your life and do it well. But yeah, I think that might be a part of my personality that I definitely have. I love that puzzle piece of life of like trying to put all the pieces together. And over the years, I think I have made a mindful choice to be more observant, because I tend to be somebody that likes to talk a lot and can take over a space. And I think that there's much to be gained out of being a little more mindful and observant in life. But yeah, I think that that has also assisted me in my job as a producer, because that's what I have to do. I essentially have to be able to listen and get a sense of personalities and feelings and ensure that there is like a level of comfort that exists within a space so that we can get the most honest performances out of people. For
And
sure.
Hill, I'm hearing that that's sort of a common thread for you, because I want to step back a bit. You mentioned about when you writing a song with somebody, and you haven't particularly, you don't know one another that well, but for whatever reason, you become more and more vulnerable. And that is actually unique, because there's a trust there, a trust and a vulnerability to be able to be vulnerable. Is it the I sense that it's the respect that you have for other people, and yet do you believe that the conduit is this in the songwriting, because you have to break it down and you have to talk about what it is you want to write? Like, does that bring the vulnerability together, do you think?
I definitely think that's a part of it, because we all know consciously if we want to be able to go to these really vulnerable places, you do need to open up within the context of a songwriting session. But I think that has been a very on purpose, mindful choice, that building trust is like the foundation of every relationship I have. And I know that that doesn't come overnight either. That's something that, you build that over time. And so yeah, that's the foundation of everything for me, when it comes to my work, when it comes to my relationships outside of work. And a lot of the time, because I'm friends with the people I'm creating with, or we get to these vulnerable places where we form friendships, it's definitely present there. That trust and respect, for sure.
Caitlin, and I first of all, Caitlin, how did you meet at on the set or on the stage in Toronto, the two of you, or
We
did you
met at
meet
rehearsal. Well, we met
We
on a
met at
Zoom,
rehearsal.
technically. The
at
Yeah.
first
rehearsal?
meeting was a Zoom.
Yeah, we met on a Zoomie, and I like, I don't know. Uh, it- I just knew, like, minute one, you could tell that Hill is amazing. And I adore her, and she knows that. But yeah, so we met, I mean, recently, but it I think that the coolest thing is how easy, and I think that that's probably what I was coming from too when I was talking about like the managing people, how easy it is to get really comfortable with Hill, because it's just like this very open arms kind of loving vibe, and that's amazing to get to be around. But also, being that rehearsal, which was the first sort of official in-person meeting, watching her in this room of uh, a bunch of musicians who, some of them know each other, some of them kind of don't. They're all kind of working on this on they were working on the Hank Azaria stuff, the Easy
The
Street
Easy
Band
Street
stuff.
Band.
And just like leading the room, and I love that leadership thing, especially when it's a woman doing it. Love it. Does that, I wonder how that is for you, like emotionally, because I know that whenever I'm in a situation where I'm having to kind of direct or lead anything, I have a terrible case of, uh, you know, imposter, shouldn't be doing this. Everybody knows that I don't actually know what I'm talking about feeling. Is that something that you get? And if it is, how do you fix it?
This is the bane of my existence every day that I wake up. I feel like an imposter for sure. I think that's what I've learned in starting to become more open with that feeling and discussing it with friends of mine is that everybody feels it. We just all are kind of going through life pretending like, or trying to project that we know what we're doing, but I don't think anyone really knows what they're doing. Um, Yeah, for sure deal with that all the time. And I think one of the greatest motivators in my life is I've been terrified of letting people down and people being disappointed in me. So that's been the motivation to not fail has been kind of the thing that has helped me push through those feelings because I either have to sink or swim. Like I either have to figure it out or come into myself and the knowledge pool that I have and the experience that I have and trust that versus completely flailing, which is not an option for me. I do flail for sure, but I think it's important. I think life is just uncomfortable. And the one thing my parents instilled in me was to push through that discomfort and to put myself in experiences that are inherently uncomfortable so that I can grow from them. I can find some sort of a growth through that. And so, and I think that's the beauty of getting older is now I'm able to look back on all these experiences where I felt like it was going to be the biggest failure of my life. And the fact that I got through them and I survived and I was able to keep people happy. I was like, okay, I can do this. This is just another one of those situations. And hopefully the result will be that I will survive it. You know?
Do you think about, okay, it's uncomfortable, but I'm going to push through the discomfort, or is it like a reflective thing?
It's both. In the moment, I'm usually, well, I have crazy anxiety. I've had anxiety issues my whole life. And if you really pay attention to me in some moments, you'll see that my hands are shaking. Like I can be very visibly uncomfortable if you pay attention. Yeah, so I'm very aware of it in the moment. And yes, I do reflect on it a lot because I don't want to, I want to overcome this thing. I don't want it to be the bane of my existence, that prevents me from experiencing life. So it's something that I make conscious decisions about every day to work on or give myself the tools or implement the tools I've picked up, to help me with that for sure.
And there are these tools so I mean, the interesting piece to this is that it sounds like have or had really supportive parents. Do you feel
Yes,
that? Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, my parents, yeah, I'm looking back on my childhood and I was like a 12-year-old that started a band with a bunch of girls from homeroom and they started driving me to clubs like, cause I lived outside of the city and they would take me to gigs at like midnight so I could play a really shitty show.
Wow.
And they said, as long as your grades are good, like as long as you stay on the honor roll, we'll drive you to your shows and we'll help you, you can practice in our basement. And yeah, they were extremely supportive for sure.
That's amazing. Do you have any other siblings, Hill?
I do. I have an older sister and a younger brother. Yeah.
And where did they land in the world of creativity or some other journey that they took?
I think they are all very creative. My sister used to be a dancer. She still is a dancer. But yeah, they ended up going the route of the family business. So
What's the
they
family
did
business?
the family business was they've sold the business now, but it was a building maintenance company essentially. So we're come from a lineage of cleaning company folk.
Very cool.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
And
So
so
awesome.
that's amazing. So
Huh.
I'm always fascinated by the fact, sorry, Caitlin.
No, you go, you go.
I'm always fascinated by the fact that you were 3 and made that decision. Like I am always aware, like I had no idea what I wanted to do when I was older, which is maybe I don't know if it was a good thing or bad thing. But when you don't know, if you're on the other side of something, you want the other thing, But if you think about you at 3 and then you start a band at 12, like that's it, like you're on a trajectory. And so, how do you handle that emotionally? Because it's like up and down, like create and
see,
egos.
I feel like it's always been a blessing because I can observe that there are a lot of people that don't know what they want to do with their lives or they're not doing what they want. And I've always felt like that's been the easiest part of my life is like I've never sure I think some mornings you wake up and you're like what the hell am I doing like but I think that's happening less and less for me. Yeah, just always kind of known this is what I've wanted to do. And I've been able to do that. Like I guess you can say it's been manifested, but I it's not just manifesting because I've worked very hard and consciously to, you know, say this is what I'm going to do. And I know that it's not going to come to me. So I have to go out. And I think it was easier when I was younger because I had no shame. I was one of those really precocious children that like I started emailing my favorite bands when I was 13, being like, yo, how do you get into this industry? And half of them responded and gave me really great advice. And one of
Wow.
them actually responded and was like, let me call into your rehearsal. And then he offered to record our first demo, and then he like shopped it to labels. So it was, yeah, like I think asking questions was one of the greatest things that I could have done. I'm terrified to do that now. That's like, I think that's harder to do as you get older, your ego gets in the way. And there's like a fear, I think, attached to it. But yeah, I think that was the beauty of starting so young, is I didn't have any reservations at all. And I was
I,
convinced, like I wanted to be the Go-Go's. I wanted to like play stadiums with my friends and write music. I
I,
decided
I
later I don't want to do that. But like I'd rather be in a studio now, and
Oh, that's wild.
yeah, but yeah, it's funny though. I think that's also, you discover as you're experiencing things that you thought you wanted to do, you realize, oh, maybe that's not exactly what I want.
was it? Who responded? Can you share?
Uh,
That's a good question.
Is it allowed?
I did write, yeah, of course. I wrote to Jane Whelan from the Go-Go's, and she wrote back to me because the Go-Go's were like my favorite. Hoxley Workman had written back to me. Andrew Franey from the band Smoother that ended up producing us had written back to me. Yeah, and I think there were a few others. I just can't remember, but those were the ones that stuck with me because they gave me really great advice.
That's so cool.
And would you have
Yeah,
a favorite genre, Hill?
I love everything. I'm just like a music lover. That's why I can't pick a lane when I produce too. I just get really devoted to artists and stories and sounds and uh, but yeah, I'd say like alternative music is always interesting to me because it's a very ambiguous genre, and I really love the amalgamation of genres and how that can kind of create a new voice for artists, which I think alternative music now, like it has a very different meaning than I think what it meant in the 90s. It was quite a specific genre, but now it's kind of like open-ended.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I listen to a lot of alternative, and I think that's just because I also like it when people challenge sounds and norms and song structure, and I find that very inspiring.
Do you have a song that's like a comfort song? Like that you like just you pull it up whenever you need it kind of a thing?
I think anything Sheryl Crow would like growing up, she was kind of one of my main influences. And I've always really connected to her music, just even whether it was a kind of really introspective song, or she's also, um, written a lot of political songs as well, like protest type songs. And I always really admired that about her. But I mean, I really love sad music. Anything that kind of makes me feel or that can match, I guess, my feelings of melancholy at times. I find a lot of comfort in that. Yeah, like "Perfect Day" by Lou Reed's another one. I think that's just the nostalgia of that song. I kind of tend to put that on when I'm wallowing. I don't know why. It makes me feel a little less alone, happy. There's like a hopeful undertone, even though I know that song is not about that. But it's
That's
Just
a
just
good
comfort
one.
weird.
in
Yeah.
that.
Do you know Sheryl Crow now? Have you met her?
No, I haven't. But she did throw a guitar pick at me once. She was my first concert too, and
Oh,
and
Cool.
um
wow.
and I couldn't go meet her. But my dad had pulled in the Greek connection somehow. There was someone a Greek that knew the tour promoter, and she signed a CD for me, which meant a lot to me as
Awesome.
a 10-year-old. Yeah,
Wow.
Well, if you're listening, Cheryl, you call Hill.
yeah. Call me.
Exactly. I think we can make this connection. And Hill, what's in the horizon for you? Like what jives you? What are you excited about?
Oh gosh. I mean, I'm always excited to work on music with the artists I'm working with. I'm always kind of balancing multiple projects at the same time, so there's a lot on the horizon in that respect, between writing and kind of working on stuff that's more in development, and then working with a bunch of different artists. Like I'm working with a group that's a trio of women that are doing this kind of Americana roots stuff, and then I'm working with this other artist that's doing this like post punk with like a bit of a contemporary pop spin. And Yeah, I just really love working on all sorts of different types of music. That really keeps me excited and motivated. I feel like if I was doing the same thing day after day, that would be very challenging for me. Yeah, so doing that and trying to, I'm really excited about just trying to implement my goal to be more present in life, and that's been something that I'm very excited about. I've been dealing with like a bit of a chronic illness for the last 4 years, and that's been a really great teacher for me. And yeah, I'm just exploring presence, which is a really fun thing. It's actually really helped with anxiety.
And how
That's
are you
been
doing? How do you do that? Like, what's? I know we have to pop off, and wow, I mean, we're just getting into this, but how do
the
you? What kind of techniques are you using?
Well, part of it, one of the keys that kind of propelled me into this state was that I've been having like some neurological issues. So I can't overthink. And that was the kind of thing that stopped me in my tracks of, oh, it broke that pattern of overthinking and worrying. But I do daily have like a practice of meditation, or if I feel like I can't meditate because my brain feels too scrambled, there's yoga nidra, kind of like deep relaxation techniques, or I do a lot of breathing. I love breath work. That's become like a multi-day thing for me, a multiple times throughout the day rather, occurrence. Yeah, and trying to make more time to recuperate, which has just made me enjoy life more because I didn't have a work-life balance, I think, before I faced this issue in my life. So yeah, I'm learning about that. I'm enjoying spending more time with my dog and my
Oh, what
partner,
kind of
and
dog do
just
you have?
I have an Aussie Doodle
An
who's
Aussie
Oh,
Doodle.
yeah,
Adorable.
I've always wanted an Australian Shepherd, but I've been allergic to everything my entire life, and then I came across Wiley. It was like a kismet kind of occurrence. Yeah, she's my child, and I know people say that about their precious creatures, but she's very human. Like it's kind of wild how she talks with buttons. She's very emotionally complex.
oh my God.
Yeah,
Button talking?
she button talks.
What do you
Yeah.
mean button talks? What is that?
Oh, well, she
Oh,
has buttons that have like certain. Okay,
Like,
so
what do
what
you mean
happened was she
buttons?
would like scream
Like,
bark at us because she's always trying to communicate with us, and then we came up with this device of like, okay, we have to go through a process of elimination. So I'd be like, if you're hungry, sit. And if she's not hungry, she looks away from you. And then, but I'd have to go through every like necessity of life until I figured out what she'd want. And then I said, this is getting ridiculous. Like, this is just a lot of work. So, yeah, I got these buttons on Amazon that I could program with, uh,
what do
commands
you
or
mean?
whatever.
And
Yeah, and
she,
she presses them.
no
So if she's
way.
hungry now, she'll go and tell me she's hungry. Or if she I only did 6 because I didn't want to overwhelm her. I have noticed that there's dogs online that have like floors of buttons and they started stringing sentences together, and I've noticed these dogs get really anxious, and I think it's because they're thinking like us, like through learning our language process, it's forced them to start thinking like humans. And I think that that's a curse. Like, I think the beauty of a
That's
dog's existence is that they're just very present and they teach us how to be present. So I didn't want to do that to her. So she only has 6 buttons, but it covers like hungry, treat, water, go outside. There's a thing called game because she doesn't really play. She likes to work. It's like the Aussie Shepherd in her. So game is she has to go find, she wants us to put treats around the house so she could go find them. And then I added a cuddles button, which she never used until I was on FaceTime with my 2-year-old nephew one day. And I call him baby, but I also call her baby. And the next thing I knew is she like ran down the stairs and started barking, like freaking out. And I was like, oh my God, she's jealous that I'm like talking to this baby. So I ignored her because I
wow.
didn't want to enable that. And the next thing I knew, she goes over to the button and starts hitting cuddles, 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 cuddles. So she knew what the cuddles button was.
Oh,
It's
that's adorable.
yeah. And now she hits it all the time. Like in the evening, she'll be like cuddles, and then she'll come over and get a little scritch.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
that is cool. And your doggy's so smart.
She's awesome. Yeah, I love her.
I didn't actually think those things worked. Like I thought it was, um, you know, a thing that
Yeah,
people
like
were faking.
like TikTok sorcery.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah. That's very cool. And
Yes, it's
I,
a thing. It's a thing though, for sure.
and I have, if Caitlin just has a last question, that's awesome. But I
Nope.
wanted to ask you, how do you feel? I'm going to get it. I'm going to say it. How do you feel about AI? Like, how do you think it's going to infiltrate the whole music scene? And like,
I think
what's
it's
your,
going to infiltrate all our lives collectively, for sure. And I think it would be a mistake to try and fight back against it because we've had these technological waves our entire lives, and humanity repeats the same pattern. We all freak out about it and we try to resist it. And I think, especially at this point in time, considering how quickly its progress has accelerated, we need to start having very serious conversations about ethical implications. Because I do think, like with anything, yes, it may assist humanity in some amazing ways. I know there's some incredible medical marvels that are occurring due to this technology, but there's also a very sinister side to the technology as well that I think we need to start really putting some guardrails in place for. And it's the same with the music industry. I'm not threatened about my job with it. I do think it will change things about the industry, like it's going to change things about our life collectively as a humanity. But I still do believe in the power of human connection, and I think an artificial intelligence could try and mimic that because that's what it does. It's based on an algorithm of everything that's come before it, excuse me. But I I still think we will need humans and artists in general, and this is just any art form. We'll still need humans to express themselves and express what's happening in our current times, and and be the voice of the people and be a point of connection for people. And we're always kind of pushing the limits, I think, in art, and we're always challenging what came before. And I think an AI can try to do that, and I think it's getting very great at doing that. But I still believe in the power of human connection. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I do have a lot of concerns about it where the industry is concerned. There's intellectual property, copyright concerns. We need to implement a lot of copyright reforms. We're still not caught up even with streaming.
Yeah,
we've
it's so
been,
true.
everyone freaked out about Napster. It's been over 25 years and we're still trying to set basic royalty rates for streaming for songwriters. And that's the unfortunate part, is when we go the legislative route, it unfortunately takes a very long time to implement these changes amongst all the other things that are happening in the world, and within our country. So that's the challenge, I think, is humans coming together and really prioritizing it, I think. And even artists, I think artists need to come together and talk about what we believe to be the ethical use of this as a tool. I do believe it's a great tool and it can be a great tool, but I don't believe in the blatant theft of, people's work that these tech companies are making money off of. Well, artists, unfortunately, and this is historically, artists have been kind of left to deal with the implications of all that. And
So
we,
true.
with, for lack of a better term, we get screwed over by all of
Yeah.
these policies,
Yeah,
or lack of policies rather. So
for
yeah,
sure.
that's what I'd like to see happen. But it's going to be an interesting time because I think it's unprecedented. Like the music industry has always been, driven by technological advancement. And I also think it would be very naive to try and fight that progression. But this is also not the same as previous technological progressions. Like this
No.
isn't a drum machine, coming in where everyone was terrified when drum machines came in that like it was going to replace drummers, and it obviously didn't do that. But I think this is a bit more complicated than a simple technological advancement.
Yeah.
It can mimic someone's likeness. And what can people do with that likeness without their
Yeah,
permission? Like there's a lot of other things that we need to talk about, I think.
for sure. Wow. Thanks, Hill. Thank you so much for being.
I feel like it's a really great idea to have asked that question with 2 minutes left to go.
I
Knowing
mean, I have
now
more
that
time. I'm happy to say I have another
hours
20 minutes before I have
content,
to be
right?
On
somewhere.
that
So
note, I know. I know. Actually, Hill, we're hopping on with, is it Tara Sloan?
Tara.
Tara
Tara.
Sloan.
Yeah, Tara, who's one of my dearest friends. She's
Oh,
actually one of the
wow.
first people I ever got hired to play guitar for.
Awesome.
Wow.
And yeah,
How cool
and
is
and when
that?
I was 17, I went on a tour with her. We did a radio tour across Canada together, and she used to live down the street from me. She's
Oh
a
my
really
God, that's
really dear
great.
friend. And I used to listen to Joy Drop when I was growing up. I loved her band. So yeah,
Very
she's
cool.
amazing. She's incredible.
Well, There you go. It was a
Yeah.
beautiful segue. Hey,
We'll
thank
tell her
you.
to say hi.
I absolutely will. Thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
feel like we could do a whole thing with Hill and Tara
That'd be
because
cool.
That'd
they
be
could,
fun.
they could rip this world apart with their
Yeah.
words
That's
in a
right.
good way.
Probably.
In a
In
good
good
way.
way. Always in good ways. Yeah. We also have a lot of stories.
Amazing energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.